Godzilla has faced many difficult foes in the past 70 years now. Commonly, his biggest enemy is King Ghidorah or Mechagodzilla. But there are two kaiju that are very overlooked. These two both push Godzilla past his limit, making Godzilla have to amp himself mid-battle. These being Monster X and Gigan Rex. Both of these kaiju gave Godzilla a run for his money as king, and they have some of the most unique fighting styles of any kaiju. But what would happen if you put these two in a ring? Who would be victorious, and who would leave defeated? Hello everybody, I'm your host Godzilla Guy, and today we'll be answering that question. Without further ado, let's see who would win. Now before we get started, let me address some rules. Firstly, Gigan Rex cannot go into his Super Saiyan form or call upon his Gigan Miles for help. Same deal with Monster X. He cannot call for Final Wars Gigan or go into his Kaiser Ghidorah form. And we will not be saying Gemstone Godzilla is Godzilla Jr., so we can't use anything from the Heisei era for reference. Now without further ado, let's get into it. Monster X versus Gigan Rex. Strength. First up, we have strength. Let's dive in. Monster X. Monster X is incredibly strong. Let's go over his feats of strength. Firstly, of course, is that he was able to lift Godzilla. For those who don't know, Final Goji weighs 55,000 metric tons, even outperforming Godzilla when locked in wrestling. And though I know this sounds weird, he has very strong legs. Yeah. Let me try to explain. Monster X was able to take a blast to the face point blank from Final Wars Godzilla, which is a feat we'll come back to for durability. But later, Monster X moves Godzilla's mouth out of the way, and Godzilla proceeds to shoot the same beam at the Exilian mothership. And it shows the mothership getting pushed back. Now we don't have an official weight for the mothership, but given that it's 1,000 by 1,000 meters in size, it most likely weighs around 1,000,000 metric tons. So Monster X being able to take a beam that strong to the face without moving much is a really great feat. Gigan Rex. So there is a slight issue with Gigan Rex, which is the fact that he doesn't have hands. Now while yes, I can already hear the comments, well he can stab things, that still just wouldn't work too well. And we've never really seen Gigan Rex try to lift anything. So who wins strength? Well, due to the fact that one of them literally has no feats of strength, the winner overall of strength is Monster X. Next up is speed. Time to see who's faster on the battlefield. Monster X. Now what I'm about to say might come as a little bit of a shock to you guys, but Monster X can't fly. However, he can levitate, but only for a short amount of time. While his running speed is on par with Final Wars Godzilla, who is theorized to be able to move at around 90 miles an hour. Gigan Rex. In order to get Gigan Rex true speed, we first need to look at the Gigan Miles, who were easily able to keep up and pass an F-22 fighter jet. Which for those who don't know, an F-22 can fly at a top speed of Mach 2, which is 1,534 miles per hour, meaning the Gigan Miles should at least be able to hit around 2,000 miles an hour. And just to add on, Gigan Rex is superior to the Gigan Miles in every single way, meaning he should be able to go even faster than the fastest Gigan Miles. Well, we also saw this coming. Without a doubt, the winner for speed is Gigan Rex. IQ. Next we have the mind, who is smarter and more resourceful on the battlefield. Monster X. Monster X is one of the most skilled kaiju out there, showing quick analysis and problem-solving skills. He was able to humble Godzilla in hand-to-hand combat, knowing how he would attack, and being able to work with Gigan to subdue Godzilla. And once he saw it necessary, he quickly morphed into his more powerful form, Gigan Rex. Gigan Rex is just as quick, showing critical thinking skills, and using his unique abilities to give him an advantage on the battlefield. He was able to fight up close and from afar, and just like Monster X, he was able to call upon other forces to help him in battle, those being the Gigan Miles. When it comes to IQ in the battlefield, the winner for this category is a tie. They both have shown great instincts and tactics on the battlefield, so it's just too close to say one of them has an edge over the other. Battle IQ. We now know who is smarter, but who has more fighting experience? Monster X. Monster X, though only appearing in one film, has some good fighting background. Firstly, he was able to keep up and block attacks from Final Wars Godzilla, who for reference is very skilled in martial arts and boxing. He was also able to work well with Gigan to overpower Godzilla, showing that he thinks out and plans all of his attacks. Gigan Rex. Gigan Rex has only fought Godzilla, so there isn't much to look at. Though, like I already said, he is able to work with his Gigan Miles pretty well. Outcome. The winner for Battle IQ is pretty easily Monster X, just due to the fact that he has fought more, and can work in a better team. He takes this category. Durability. Monster X, easily. Now I know, before you put in the comments, well Gigan took a beam and didn't move at all, and like Monster X who got pushed back. While yes, I know where you're coming from, there are two issues. Firstly, Monster X took it to the face unlike Gigan, and he took it point blank, unlike Gemstone Godzilla who was very far away from Gigan at the time. Secondly, it seems to be more of Gigan's ability rather than durability, given that it seems he more absorbed it rather than fully blocked it. This can be backed up with the fact that the beam seemingly stops at his claws, rather than dissipating. Outcome. Monster X easily takes durability, not even close. Hand-to-hand combat. Now time for a category I don't usually go over, but I thought it'd be interesting to add this in for the fight. Hand-to-hand combat. Who can keep up with and deal more attacks? Monster X may just be one of the best hand-to-hand combatants of all time, being up there with the likes of Showa Godzilla, Spectre Man, and Ultraman. He shows that he knows how to properly throw punches, how to block, and how to stop his enemies from attacking. He's very quick with his attacks, being able to pull off a wombo combo like it's a Mortal Kombat fight. Gigan Rex. Gigan Rex is also pretty good in claw-to-claw combat, being able to use his slicers to hold down and damage his enemies, though that's about it. Outcome. The winner for hand-to-hand combat with relative ease is Monster X. Long range. Next, who can fight better from afar? Monster X wins close up, but can he hold his ground long range? Monster X. Monster X really only has one long range ability, that being his beam, which is somewhat strong, being able to attack as one beam or break apart into 3 projectiles. Though his beam isn't too strong, only being able to bring Godzilla to his knees. Gigan Rex. Gigan Rex is much better off in this category, having his claws and his chest beam, and possibly a second beam. Given that the Gigan Miles had a beam that could come out of their head, it's reasonable to assume that Gigan Rex does as well. Outcome. When it comes to who can do better from afar, Gigan Rex takes this category with relative ease. Beam. Next up is their beams. And like how Monster X won durability, Gigan Rex wins beams, with literally no issue. While Monster X's beam can only bring Final Goji to his knees, Gigan Rex literally sent Godzilla flying backwards. Now we don't know the weight of Gemstone Godzilla, but given that he's 120 meters tall, which is even taller than Monster vs. Godzilla, most likely weighs more than Monster vs. Godzilla, meaning he's likely over 100,000 metric tons. And again, he most likely has a secondary beam in his head. Outcome. So the winner with beam with no difficulty is Gigan Rex. Stamina. Next, it's time to figure out who can go longer. This is very difficult to figure out, since they both transformed mid-fight to get stronger. So we'll just say it's a tie for this category. Physical weaponry. Next is their physical weapons, or in simple terms, their bodies. First up is Monster X. Monster X is covered in an intricate bone-like armor, starting at his head, having 2 horns, one large and one small. Also the back of his head, it almost acts like a knife, having a long, sharp protrusion sticking out of it. He also has a strong jaw, having an almost solid row of teeth, acting like a clamp. Next up is his elbow razors. Just like his head, he has sharp blades sticking out of his elbows. He also has very sharp claws, being able to rip into the flesh of his enemies. And of course his tail, which we'll cover in a little bit. Gigan Rex. Gigan Rex, just like Monster X, has a whole bunch of physical weapons. Just like Monster X, he has a horn, but not just one, covering his entire back, eventually turning into giant spikes that help him steer when he flies. He also has his pincers and beak, which can be used to bite and tear up flesh. Next, of course, is his claws. No way did you think I was going to forget about his claws. These claws can be used to completely slice through his enemies and destroy the area around him. He also has some spikes on his feet, so if he were to ever kick his opponent, he can stab deep into their body. Outcome. The winner for physical weapons is very close, but I'm going to have to give the edge to Gigan Rex. Though Monster X has more, they just aren't as useful as Gigans are. And they would only be used for very, very specific situations. Tail. Next up, who has a more useful and powerful tail? Monster X. Monster X has a very long tail, around as long as he is tall. The tail is skinny and splits into 2 smaller tails at the end, which can act like a whip, and may even be prehensile, being able to wrap around his enemies. Gigan Rex. Gigan Rex has a very beefy tail, being very strong and can easily knock over his opponents. His tail boasts a giant spike at the end, which can be used to stab into his enemies, but can also be used to catch himself when he falls. Outcome. When it comes to each kaiju's tail, Gigan Rex takes this category, being able to slam and stab into Monster X. Abilities. We're almost done. Who has more abilities? Monster X. Gravity beams. Monster X gravity beams were somewhat effective against Godzilla, but like we said, they aren't too strong. And levitation. He can levitate, but only for a short amount of time. Gigan Rex. Rex blades. These are of course Gigan's long knives that can split into a chainsaw. Chest beam. As we've already gone over, he has a chest beam. Tail spike. Again, like we said, he has a spike on the end of his tail. Telepathy. He can call for the Gigan Miles whenever he needs them, though he won't be for this fight. Flight. He can fly. Outcome. The winner for abilities is easily Gigan Rex. And finally, we have agility. Monster X. Easily, it's easily Monster X. With all this data added up, who wins? This score is the closest that they've ever been in any of my versus battle videos, coming in at a score of 8-7, winning out by literally 1 point. With unimaginable difficulty, your winner is Gigan Rex. The main thing that will help him in this fight is his flight and his beam, being able to get around and injure Monster X until he just can't fight any longer. To be honest, Monster X could win too, but I see Gigan Rex winning more than Monster X would. I hope you all enjoyed, and please consider subscribing. As always, keep collecting. Godzilla Guy out. See ya. Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way, get out the way.